Good evening. I'm Bob Clark, the Executive Director of CINEKYD Enterprises Incorporated. During the past weeks, as part of this program, we've been presenting for your enjoyment the serialization of one of our finest motion pictures entitled ASTREKYND. Mr. Paul Salfi, whom you'll be seeing a little later in tonight's program, has put together an interesting series of background and production clips that deal with the movie ASTREKYND. Let's watch.
graphic. Alpha 2. Okay, ready to pull graphic.
Ready to pull.
It's Alpha 1, pull the graphic. And it's Alpha 3. And a nice slow fade out.
As the sign says, this is CINEKYD Theater, and I'm so pleased that you could be part of our audience this evening. Tonight, the exciting conclusion of ASTREKYND, a film that I'm so pleased to say has won us an even larger audience through its continued broadcast on the Comcast cable network. But as is our custom, we'd like to provide you with an opportunity to go behind the scenes. So join me, if you will, on a typical Wednesday evening as we prepare for our weekly FM radio show, this TV series, and of course, other interesting activities. Each and every Wednesday evening, young people in grades 7 through 12 participate in a series of training seminars which we call TRACK. They work in a variety of technical and performing arts. They learn how to operate television and motion picture gear, how to coordinate sound patterns for their radio show, how to build sets and then light them, what will be an effective choice of color and pattern for costumes, and of course, what type of makeup will help to change a character's appearance or enhance those features that we would like to present to the viewing audience. Our young people work in what educators call a laboratory situation. That means they are being taught. TRACK is an educational program. The main body of the CINEKYD staff are either teachers or school administrators, coupled with the talents of people who work in retail sales, advertising, and marketing. This core of volunteers provides our young people with an opportunity to learn in a hands-on situation. That's why sometimes you'll notice in our programs little errors. It's not that we aren't interested in presenting the best possible product. It's simply because we place a greater emphasis on the young people and in the teaching process. To us, the television series, the radio dramas, and the myriad films that are produced under the banner of CINEKYD are merely the means by which we work with our young people. The boys and girls themselves, they are the essential element of our program. Like TRACK, which encompasses, as I said, young people in grades 7 through 12, we run a similar program for younger children. Each and every Saturday morning, between the hours of 10 and 12, young people in grades 3 through 6 have an opportunity again to work in a laboratory situation. Those boys and girls who like to perform or who welcome the opportunity to use their voices and their bodies as part of a dramatic situation are as at home here as their counterparts, the young people who are fascinated by the technology of cameras, microphones, mixers, and the like. And so, each and every one of our boys and girls is provided with a very sound instructional program, leading to the presentation of a weekly cable television show and the production of a weekly radio show. If you watch these background tapes closely, you will see quite a number of adults and young adults working with our young people. Right now, our professional staff has grown to 15 people. As we prepare for the big summer extravaganza, we also welcome into our professional fold a number of interns from area colleges and universities. CINEKYD, as an accredited educational institution, is a training ground not only for our young people, but for teachers and administrators as well. We work in the area of the performing arts. We provide youngsters with a chance to put their hands on the gear and to learn how it operates. But the equipment, the shows, the scripts, all of this is of secondary importance. At CINEKYD, it's kids and film, and the kids always come first. Since September of 1980, we've been providing you with an opportunity each and every week to meet with Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, Professor Moriarty, and all the other characters created long ago. The title of this drama, The Seven Keys, and we're fast approaching the conclusion of this mystery. As our regular viewers may recall, in last week's exciting chapter, Mrs. Hudson very cleverly has freed little Darcy from the clutches of Sister Thelma and the Foundling Home. However, the child has been followed by another youngster under the direct orders of Professor Moriarty. As we join our players, Mrs. Hudson, her grandson Conrad, and little Darcy have just returned to Baker Street.
Now, don't you worry, my dear. You're safe now. But when I go home tonight, they'll keep me there, and I'll never be able to come back here. Here you go, Darcy. Here's a glass of water. Drink your water, dear. As for your going back to the Foundling Home tonight, I had no intention of taking you back there. Might Sister Thelma call Inspector Lestrade? I doubt that. I'll get that. That's a good boy. Are you hungry? Can I get you something?
No, hello. Hello, Mrs. Hudson. Hello, Conrad. Hello, Darcy. I just came by to see how she was.
I expected you'd be by.
Ah, you do bake today, don't you?
Later, Socrates.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, Darcy, I brought some very good friends over that I'd like you to meet. This is the captain.
Hello.
And the wizard.
What do you do?
They helped me stage your escape. They're my assistants.
Assistants? What do you mean, assistants?
Associates.
Yeah.
You know how these detectives can be so sensitive.
Good evening.
Who are you? What do you want?
I thought I was welcomed here.
Certainly not. This is my home.
I thought this was my house.
Certainly not, and I want you to leave right now.
Miss Hudson, I surely thought you would have known.
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes.
Oh.
It's a jolly good disguise.
Oh, you frightened me.
You can sit down, Darcy.
I never would have known.
One of my favorite disguises. Dr. Watson and I used it on our crown jewel case.
That's what this case needs. Disguises. Let me see. I know. I could be a fisherman. Captain. We'll dress you in a bonnet and put a skirt on you. And we'll dress you up like a little girl.
A bonnet and a skirt and a pig's eye, Governor. You wear the bonnet and skirt, and I'll be the fisher.
No, you don't understand.
Now, boys,
It's
there's
just
no need to argue. I'll handle the disguises.
Mr. Holmes, we want to help.
Good. I'll need the help of you and your friends. I have a plan. Please excuse us, Miss Hudson. Come this way.
I never would have known. My, we're busy today, Grandmother. Get the door, Conrad. I've been living with Mr. Holmes for years. I couldn't have.
My sister and I, and we heard that Dr. Watson was coming home, and we wanted to know if there was anything that we could do.
I don't think so. Oh, Darcy, this is Miss Meredith Breakstone.
Good evening.
Miss Victoria. This is Darcy from the Foundling Home. She's come here to help me out around the house. Conrad, why don't you show Darcy to her room?
Good evening.
Some tea.
No, thank you.
I noticed the lovely...
Start that again.
Why, thank you. They are rather nice. Darcy seems like such a sweet little girl. She is a nice girl, and... Well, now that she's here, I feel she's in a safe haven.
Yes, Mrs. Hudson, that's what we all need. A safe haven.
So, how's your aunt?
She's doing well. We just got a letter from her from the country.
So, what is the country like?
She doesn't say much, but how's Dr. Watson doing?
Well, I believe he's all right, and I'm glad he's coming home, but I'm not really sure how he'll be until he gets here.
Mr. Holmes said that he was in good condition.
And now, after a number of weeks, I am very proud to present the concluding episode of ASTREKYND. This evening, viewers, young and old alike, will find out just what happens to young Hayes, Lord Griswold, the little princess, as we join our characters in the Valley of Doom.
Could not summon enough power to overcome the magic of the stars. Their foes vanquished, the Astrakynds must get Prince Geoffrey to safety, somewhere on the other side of the mountain, where no harm would come to the brave lad. The chase would begin anew, but only after the Star Child and his friend were safely out of this land of evil. He had brought young Geoffrey beyond the great mountain, far from the Valley of Doom. The prince was safe, but the Astrakynds must move quickly to save the little princess and her nurse. He continued the search. The boy was determined to pit his mortal self against the magic of the wizard. But this time, the chain around his neck broke, and the sparkling gem fell to the earth, leaving the lad helpless. He had unknowingly separated himself from the magic of the stars. And Lord Griswold, a desperate man, led his party through the underbrush of the forest. Leader of the wolf children, lost no time in locating his quarry. But it was then that he discovered that the amulet was gone. He would have to face Griswold alone. There was no time to search for the magic star. Warrior, Hayes still tried to save the princess. But he was quickly overcome by Burgess and Cadman. little time for such nonsense. He planned to bind the boy in such a way that he would trouble him no more. Unwilling to admit defeat, Hayes struggled to move, to continue pursuit, even though he was bound in chains and badly bruised. He had been careless, losing the amulet, but what mortal strength he possessed, he would summon and continue his quest. As L'Étranger had told him, there is unity among the stars, and the boy was guided to the amulet and the power it contained. Griswold left his henchman to face the Astrakyn and shoved Lady Eunice aside. His only hope lay with his keeping the little princess as a hostage. The poor nurse was overcome with grief, but she was safe now, and the Astrakyn comforted her. Once she was taken to safety, he promised not to rest until Princess Alyssa was freed from her captors. Hiding in the bushes not too far away, the urchins of evil witnessed the demise of Lord Griswold's followers. The Astrakyn, this powerful star child, seemed to be too powerful for even the wizard. Therefore, they too had best plan their escape. But the retreat was cut short. final confrontation, the showdown, good versus evil. As the little princess shielded herself behind her champion, Griswold made one final attempt to draw upon sufficient black magic to destroy the ASTREKYND. And as Griswold chanted, the Star Child looked to the stars, the source of his strength. The ASTREKYND hurled the gem at the feet of the evil ones. Its power, its goodness, spelled their destruction. With the disappearance of Lord Griswold, the boy Hayes returned to his mortal form. The little princess was grateful, but mystified by all she had seen. Happiness returned to the kingdom of Turnsmere. Once again, joy reigned. Lady Eunice, Prince Geoffrey, and Princess Alyssa returned safely to the palace, to the loving care of their parents. And late one night, the boy Hayes awoke to find the amulet round his neck once more. The good people of Turnsmere would still be protected by the ASTREKYND.
I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this series of episodes and that the ASTREKYND has brought you some entertainment. There have been a number of questions raised about this production, and rather than answer them now, what I'd like to do is to invite you to call our offices or stop by our campus and not only perhaps present your questions in person, but take a tour of our facilities. The film and this television series and everything else that we do at CINEKYD is coordinated through the efforts of our young people and our staff of volunteers. And that means that each and every dollar that's required to put these shows together is raised by those kids. Now, they don't have salaries to pay, but you can well imagine in this electronic production just how many dollars are used in the process. If there's a youngster in your household who is interested in movies, 696. Or better yet, stop by our campus at 129 Turwood Road in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. A youngster needs no experience to be part of the wonderful world of CINEKYD, just a willingness to try. Thanks for being with us, and please join us again next week, same time, same station, for CINEKYD Theater. Till then, this is Bob Clark saying good night and God bless.